Hey everybody, Mike Chamberlain here, the #1 Peterbilt ambassador for all of YouTube. Thank you for coming back to the channel. Today I wanted to show you a truck that's actually just passing through town. And you know what? I didn't sell it, I didn't build it, but damn is it ever looking fine. So you guys need to see it. That's right, it is a Peterbilt 4x4. That's right, 4-wheel drive. No, that's not a typo. This service truck is 4-wheel drive, and man, does it ever look bad arse. Now it's a little bit dirty because it just came down from our Dawson Creek branch. Dale Breckus is actually the salesman that put this together, and what a great job he did. It just looks freaking awesome. So yeah, I had to share it with you guys because, I mean, yeah, can't let a truck like this go through town and not share it. So anyways, take a look at this. I apologize for it being dirty, but it's still on its journey south. But look at how big this sucker is. Now this is on the 348 chassis, which is no longer available, but we also have our new 548s coming. So just imagine what it would look like as a 548. Just, oh, I can't wait. In fact, maybe we should order one. Maybe we should spec one out for you so then you can see what it's like in real life. Because, you know, a lot of people ask me, well, does anybody make Class 8 4x4s? Yep, Peterbilt does. You don't have to buy an ex-Army truck. You can go out and buy a pimped-out Mac Daddy Peterbilt, and not only do you get the best truck built in the industry, but you also get 4-wheel drive. So you can go bombing around through the bush, and because you know what? Peterbilt isn't just all about long hoods and looking cool on the highway. Although, you know, I have to admit, we are the #1 OEM for long hoods looking cool and being bad arse on the highway and off-road. So anyways, enough of that. Enough of my propaganda talk. But you know what? Is it propaganda if it's true? I don't think so. So check it out. This sucker is built tough. Look at these giant toe points on the front, so if you get stuck in the mud, we've got a front skid plate to protect your radiator. And look at that, your torque rod being behind the diff there, although it does dip down a little bit, it's protected, so you're gonna hit stuff with your front axle first before it starts dragging through. But look at the size of that axle. It is just a beast. I'm telling you. You could hook a cat onto the front of this. Well, you wouldn't need a cat actually, but if you did get it stuck, you could hook a cat onto it and drag it through to whatever. And look at that, straight through front frame rails. You know what? So when you are tugging on this thing, you'll rip the undercarriage out before you won't be able to pull this thing, which odds are you won't rip the undercarriage out, but then let's hope you don't end up in a situation that's that bad. Because it's so tall, I've got the extra frame steps. Single exhaust. This one just has the standard mirrors. It's got the hydraulic VMAC air compressor, which is great. Rigid driving light. Rigid driving lights. That's only driving lights if you're drifting it, which, you know, not that I would condone drifting a truck, but it's actually kind of fun. You know, if you're drifting an old cab over, then, you know, yeah, you just do what you got to do. It's kind of fun. Just don't do it when you're working, because that would be bad. You know, commercial vehicle, we got to be better than that. Unless it's a personal vehicle and you're on a gravel road and you're just screwing around, in which case, yeah, do whatever you want. Anyways, guys, I think all the cabinets are locked. So let's take a look. Let's take a looky, because I've got the key to open this bad boy up. I tell you, these Brutus boxes are just absolutely the bomb. Not to discount any of the other boxes, but you know, Brutus does do a great job. So this is obviously your torch cabinet. It's vented down below, so if you do lose, well, I mean, I guess you could be using a propane torch or an acetylene torch, but it's vented above, vented below, rack for your hoses, which is fantastic. Let's check out this box. I can't believe how much storage is in here. Oh yeah, look at that. LED lights too. Gosh, that's awesome. That really is awesome. And the lights go all the way around. You know what? And I believe you could get these on a slider. These ones aren't on a slider, but you could get get boxes on a slider. There's like no spot on this truck that doesn't have something. And in a lot of ways, I should have unlocked all these doors first, but then you wouldn't be able to see me unlocking all the doors. You know, and even in the bumper, like they just, every piece of space is utilized. You know, that'd be great for your long bars and stuff like that, rigging. You've got outriggers on this one because it does have the 11,000 Cobra picker. It's like a picker truck, like a self-loader. It's got your vise. I could use this at home, actually. I wonder if I could demo it. No, that'd be wrong. But boy, would this ever be handy to have at home. Let me tell you, it's nice. It's got the trailer tow package. They've got a step in there. It's got extra steps down there. Super simple to climb up on this. Oh, and look at that truck. I just absolutely love that color. And you know, that's desert turquoise. I didn't think I would love it as much as I do, but my customer, Surjit Ullik, he ordered that one and we picked it actually offline, the color. And yeah, I'm really digging it. Really digging it, gotta say. So anyways, focus, Mike, focus. Here is the inside. How does this open? So it's got, oh yeah, okay, there we go. It's got flip latches. Flip latches, and I'll use two hands here so that you guys can see. Oh, I'll just snap that back. Am I doing this right or am I doing this wrong? Oh, it slides. I was doing it wrong. I really should have done a demo for myself first. Look at that. It slides and has tracks so that you can have it open different amounts. But yeah, look at that. Can you guys see that? I'm not entirely sure what these are for, but I really don't know. This is obviously a chain rack. It's nice that they put the rubber matting there. Of course, you got tie downs on the floor, so that if you're packing a hydraulic cylinder or you got a rear diff for a truck, you got a place to tie it down. And of course, this tailgate folds down and it's good and sturdy. So that is fantastic. Just fantastic. Got another little cubby there, 501. So that should be this key here, 501. What's behind door number 1? Ah, air. That is so handy dandy. I like that. And that's a big hose too. So that's like 5/8, I think, 1/2 inch. Okay, so it's 1/2 inch diameter. That's fantastic having a hose reel there. It really is. Of course, this is the other side of your bumper storage, which goes right through for your extra long items, pike poles, wash brushes, big bars, because you know you need a big bar for big jobs sometimes. And this is great. Manual hoist controls. And you know what I like about this? It's simple. Even if you have an oil leak, it's gonna work. Although if you have an oil leak, you know, if you're a mechanic, you should probably fix it. And it even comes with grease. So, I don't know. Oh, and here's your labels as to what the crane is rated for. Just absolutely great. So if you're, 2,700, now is that pounds? Yes. So 2,750 pounds at 21 feet. That's pretty dang good. Pretty dang good. I mean, I'm no expert when it comes to crane trucks, but well, and not that that's a crane truck. Well, I guess technically it is a crane truck now, isn't it? More LED lights. I like the fact that they got the gas prop rods to hold the doors open. You've got the drawers here on roller bearing slides. You can put all your little spare bits and doodads in there. There's a better look. It's pretty damn cool. Pretty cool. If I was a mechanic, I'm telling you, this would be like the Cadillac, or maybe we should call it like the Corvette of service bodies. You know what I mean? Just absolutely fantastic. Ah, this is just like, you know, Discovery Channel spot for, I don't know if a guy would put tools in there. I guess you could put tools, like all your wrenches and stuff. Or you could put parts, you put parts up there. And that's a nice thing about having that, the big center opening, because, you know, if you're going to a job and you need to take parts, you can put it all in there and it's gonna stay dry. Or should stay dry. I don't know how good they are at keeping things dry, because, you know, anything that has a seal. But I think the way they have the lip, it's actually really good at keeping things dry, which is important. More cabinets. Look at that. Here is your VMAC, I guess, on-off board control panel. That's the word I'm looking for. And all your lights. So compartment lights, cabinet lights. Oh. Sorry guys, but chicken lights and chrome. And I just found the chicken lights. How cool is that? That's pretty cool. That's really cool. Rear lights, passenger side light, driver side lights. So see, you got your work lights, you can turn them on. So if you're working beside a truck or a piece of equipment, I'm sold. Where do I buy one? Of course, maybe I should get a job first. That, and let's face it, I would need some training. I mean, unless it's working on trucks, because, well, actually no, then I'd still need some training. So you know what, the new trucks are not like the old trucks, but which is probably good, because the old trucks, you know what, they didn't last as long as the new trucks. And you're probably gonna beat me up in the comments to say that, but I remember back in the 80s, they would have rebuild specials at breakup time. You know, we don't have engine rebuild specials anymore, because we don't rebuild engines like we used to in the old days. You know, that whole rolling a set of bearings in it at so many hours. So anyways, enough of me blabbering. We got the small depth tank, which is more than enough for this engine. 70 liters of fuel, pardon me, 70 gallons of fuel. That's gallons, not liters, Mike. That's right. When we rate fuel capacity, we rate it in US gallons, because you know what? Built with pride in Denton, Texas. Which is kind of ironic that I said that, because this truck was actually built in Canada at St. Therese, Quebec. So built with pride in Canada. And you know, that's something that I'm really proud about with PACCAR, is the fact that we're built in Canada and the US. And I'm opening it with the fender because it was a little bit stuck, but these little hoods, normally I wouldn't recommend it, but these little hoods are, there's not a lot of weight when they tip forward, so it's okay. And they have springs on the rods. And when I say rods, I mean cables, the cable stops. So we've got the PX engine, which work absolutely fantastic. You know, you got a little surge tank there, little baby surge tank. Actually looks pretty cool. Although I'm just looking, there probably should be a hose on that. So I think somebody missed that on the PDI. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna make sure there's a hose there, because if it overheated, it's just gonna blow antifreeze outside. And that probably won't be an issue, hopefully, for a long, long time, but it probably should have a hose on that. So this is cool. This is a spigot for your fuel filter. I guess to check fuel pressure, or maybe to, I don't know. I don't know why they'd have that there. We've got the jump terminals under the hood, which is handy. Gotta like that, because the batteries are under the seat in this. But yeah, the PX engines are, notice the Cummins filter on it. Note when I say Cummins filter. I know a lot of people have reservations about the PACCAR MX engine because it's a PACCAR engine, and it's not like a Cummins or, you know, one of the big three. Well, what used to be the big three, and now it's the big two. Because you know what, the third one? Well, the third one was Cat, and we all know what happened to Cat. They couldn't make emissions, so they tried, partnered up with International, failed miserably. So yeah, Cat, you disappoint me. Because you used to be the king, man. Like, even still, the 6NZ Cat, that's kind of like, well, that's the engine everybody wants. But you know what? I was working with an old-time salesman, and he said even when the 6NZ came out, they had their issues. So it's like everything. You have issues when it comes out. Do you kill it forever because of a couple of issues? No. you fix the issues and you carry on, and then you have bulletproof engines. I mean, look at the Cummins X15. It's doing fantastic. And you know what? The MX engine has been around forever. But I'm getting off topic again. So the PX engine, why does it have Cummins fuel filters, you ask? Why does it have Cummins oil filters? Well, it's because, oh, and look, it's even got a whole set Cummins turbo. Here's a little secret. It's really a Cummins engine. That's right. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. Maybe I'll get in trouble, but it's a Cummins engine. Warranties managed by Cummins. It's a partnership between PACCAR and Cummins, and it's great. So that's why when you look on your spec sheet when you're building a new truck, it's like, oh, I can't get a Cummins engine in my little truck. Well, yes, you can. You can get a Cummins engine in every one of your Peterbilt trucks. So if you didn't know, now you know. The only difference is it's painted gray, not red. Yeah, so I love Cummins. They do a great job. You know what? Hands down the leader. When push came to shove with the new emissions, Cummins was the only one that put together an after-treatment system that worked. Was it perfect? No. But anybody that's had a max force engine with advanced EGR knows that there's a lot of others that failed miserably, and in fact that almost killed International. So you know what they have in their trucks now? Cummins. That's right, Cummins. So PACCAR, Peterbilt, partnered up with Cummins. It's because it's a smart move. But anyways, off topic. Look at this interior. We've got door pockets. Ooh, battery disconnect switches in the cab beside the seat. Absolutely great option on the medium duty Peterbilts. Now this one has our extended cab. Look at how big this cab is. And you know what? Do I sound a little bit excited? Do I sound a bit like a salesman? Well, yes, because Peterbilt has the #1 biggest cab on the market for an extended cab. In fact, I don't think most of the others even have an extended cab. I mean, I guess some of them have an extended cab with like a little sleeper berth, which is nice, or a crew cab, which we can do. We just have to do it with a one of our bodybuilders from the factory. But on this 348, this extended cab, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. For a working day cab, it's absolutely awesome. Because look at all the room behind the seat. That is a ton of room. It's a full 10 inches of space, and it goes right to the floor. So if you're like a 7'6" guy, I can notch this. Probably shouldn't, put the camera at it. So I can notch, just move the seat back, and you'll have all the room in the world. Document pouch on the rear wall. That's kind of handy. So you can put all your stuff in there, and it can just hang. Here's, help if I point the camera at myself. Here's something that I often said that I like about this day cab. Now, many of you might know, some of you don't, that I used to run self-loader. Ran self-loader for a lot of years. I'm gonna say, what the heck was it, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 years? 7, 8, yeah, 10 years. And in running a self-loader, you always have a day cab. You've always got rain gear, coveralls. I actually got soaked in hydraulic oil once. So after that, got soaked in hydraulic oil, peeled it all off. I had hand cleaner wipes, wiped myself down with that, but guess what? I didn't have any spare clothes. So I drove back to the shop in my skivvies. Yes, driving, and I was living in the Lower Mainland, so yeah, driving through, actually I think I was in Surrey. I was in Surrey. Drove all the way back to our shop in Aldergrove, through all the downtown city traffic, half naked except for my skivvies, because I got covered, and I mean covered in hydraulic oil. So after that, I always carried a spare set of clean coveralls in my truck, because you just never know when something's going to happen. And yeah, so anyways, getting off topic again, but the beauty of this cab, okay, so I'm 6 feet tall. If it's raining outside and I got to put coveralls on, I can stand up between the seats and I'm almost straight up. So if I gotta put coveralls on, guess what? I can put my coveralls on. I got my head bent, but I can still lift my leg and put my coveralls on. I could do a little dance, make a little love, get down. Well, not that you should be making love in a day cab Peterbilt, but if you want to, I mean, hey, who am I to judge? Love is love. Love is love. But yeah, a lot of people don't talk about the extra headroom in these extended day cabs. So I don't know that we're gonna have that option out of the gate in the medium duty Peterbilts and the 548s, but you know what, in our regular cab Pete's, this is an option that nobody thinks about, nobody talks about. Even I forget about it, but you know what? If you're any shorter than 6 feet, you can stand up with no issue. And if I had to put rain gear on, or specifically coveralls, and I could do it inside instead of going outside and getting soaked, it's a huge option. And it's just one of those things that you don't think about that makes your life easier. And you know, that's one of the things that I try to stress to my customers, and to Peterbilt customers, is at the end of the day, I want to make your life easier. I want to make you successful. Do we have all the options that some other OEMs have? No. You know, are some of them maybe better? It's debatable. But at the end of the day, we're here to make your life better, to make you more successful. There was an issue with regards to electric over air switches. Now, if many of you don't know, the new series cabs are going to have electric over air switches. Our 5 series trucks have electric over air switches. Now, there has been some issues with brand K in their new generation. We've had a couple, and I only say a couple because there was 2 instances in my 5 series. And essentially what it is now that everything is smart, it's to save weight, everything's computer controlled. Now with the digital dash, you got all these options so that you can select things, and as a fleet owner you can change the parameters. So if you don't want your drivers engaging a PTO or putting in a diff lock or something at a certain speed, you can program that out. Now, one issue that we did find is the inner axle locks and the electric over air switches at times were kicking out when there was a fault, which in my #1 customer application is a big no-no. We do not ever want the inner axle being kicked out on a tri-drive, because that on a tri-drive creates an unsafe situation. So brand K, what do? If you want to put a manual switch in, they'll only charge you 7 or 8 hours to do it. Well, 7 or 8 hours at 140, 150, 160 bucks an hour, I don't know what their hourly rate is. That's a lot of money. What does Peterbilt Mike do? And Peterbilt, sorry about that, guys. My GoPro actually overheated. Who knew? Apparently a long-winded truck salesman can overheat a GoPro. So, but anyways, I was talking about electric over air switches, and you know what? This is a very important thing that I need to get out there. So yeah, the next generation electric over air, you know what? Unlimited programming, blah blah blah. But with tri-drives, there's some things that are critical to not be messed with, and that's your inner axle. Creates an unsafe situation when it kicks out, and I don't care who you are, where you are, what engineer you are, you come with me in the wintertime and I'll show you the unsafe situations that it creates when it kicks out, when not controlled by the driver. When you've got drive axles that span the space of, well, you know, if you're 54-inch center, so you got a, you know, 100 and some inches, so you're talking like, what the heck is that, like 10, 11, 12 feet? You can't do that. When you have one axle chained up, you can't have your inner axle kick out. So getting back to my point, brand K, customer wants that changed, they're going to charge them 7 or 8 hours to put a manual air switch. Mike Chamberlain, Peterbilt Truck Sales, Peterbilt Mike, we're doing it on PDI in every truck. I don't care who you are, where you are, what you are. If you buy a tri-drive off me in the Prince George branch, we're going to change it before you take delivery, because I'm just not going to have it. You know what? If it costs me 7 or 8 hours to do it, I'm going to foot the bill, because I want you to be successful. I don't want you to have to deal with it. And when you go haul in the bush and buddy almost goes off a cliff because it kicks out and they go, oh yeah, well we could change that for you and charge you 8 hours. No, we're going to do yours first until PACCAR or Peterbilt come out with a manual option. And if they don't have a manual option, I'm putting it in for the inner axle, period. The diff locks, you know what? They've already got the diff locks, so they are electric over air. We can set the parameters on them so they don't kick out with speed, and we can also set it so it's not affected by ABS. But inner axles are key. So what's my point? I lost a deal once to a customer, and now this is moreover, it was to brand K, and his trucks had fifth wheels, and I said, you know, those are going to have traction control, and you don't want traction control. He's like, oh no, I don't think traction control is all that bad. And I'm like, you don't want it, trust me, you don't want traction control, yada yada yada. He's like, well, it's got the fifth wheel on it, so technically that's like $5,000 worth of value. Yeah, there is some value in having a fifth wheel, but what's the value in a log truck not having traction control? Well, let me tell you, he found out last winter, because yes, he got his 3 Kenworths, and yes, they were more money than me. Not that much more, but of course you did get that fifth wheel with it. But guess what? He also got traction control. You know what happened to him? His traction control effed up and he almost went off the side of a mountain, because all of a sudden he went from having one axle chained up to it kicking everything out to freewheeling to having no axles chained up. So at the end of the day, I wish he had listened to me when I listened to him complain about it today in his Kenworth. You know what? It's really disappointing because I told him he wasn't gonna like it. He ended up, he didn't like it. And anyways, what does it mean? Maybe I should have been a better salesman and forced it. But you know what? Like I tell you guys, I'm not a great salesman. I'm not the salesman that's gonna be whatever. I'm a truck guy. And that's why I'm gonna fix the issues that I'm not gonna let you have on my watch. That's why Peterbilt Prince George is already designing covers for the back end of the new style DEF tanks. Do we know it's an issue yet? No, we don't. They might be just fine. But to us, we see the possibility of an issue there, and we don't want our customers to have it. And if there is, we want to have a solution. So we're going to have a solution. We've already got a prototype made up for a cover, and you know what? It's going to be an option. If a guy wants the DEF cover, you know what? We'll sell it to you. If it looks like it's going to be an issue on all the trucks, we'll just do it as part of the PDI and make sure every truck has it. Right now, we don't know that they need it, but we're already looking at solutions because we know what our customers need. We know what's going to happen out there. We know how hard you work your trucks, and that's why Peterbilt is the best, specifically Peterbilt Pacific. And am I pointing? Yes, I'm pointing because I'm passionate about it. I'm not going to let anybody frickin' tell me otherwise, because at the end of the day, it's all about service. It doesn't matter what truck you buy. You could go buy a Yugo. If Yugo looks after you and makes it so you can make money and you're successful, you know what, buy a Yugo. But you know what? In my province, in my country, for my customers, Yugo's not an option. But Peterbilt is, and I'm gonna make it. I shouldn't point really, but I'm pretty fired up about this. But anyways, guys, this is Peterbilt Mike. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, if you did, you can hit the like button. You know what? It's completely optional. But as always, glad you followed, glad you clicked on the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and there'll be more great content from Peterbilt Mike. Am I going to speak my mind? Yes, I am, because at the end of the day, that's who I am, that's what we are, and that makes us who we are. So thanks again, guys. Until next time, peace. Whew, it's hot in there. You know, it's something you don't realize when you have so many months of winter, is that summertime's hot. Like sitting in a truck, friggin' sweat. You can't wear your shirt more than one day because you're gonna stink. But who knew? It's kind of a nice change though. Not wearing a jacket, not having to deal with snow. Anyways, guys, have a great day. Oh, nobody likes a bad day. It's a learning experience, that's what it is. We're all learning, always learning. If you're not learning, then you're not paying attention or something like that.